It's not a
And I
tick.
pressed it. So we will be live and I'll be reading. And we're live. Keith?
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
The chat's tonight, keithandthegirl.com/chat. Say hi. It's so much fun. We get in the muck, and it's a real good time. Are you a VIP member? keithandthegirl.com/VIP. Are you hearing last week on Keith and the Girl? Rod and Karen do such a good job. Such a good job. We find out was there any assholes behind the scenes of that week?
Oh, yeah. Now that we don't have guests, we can talk about them. You
Yes.
guys, every week we have these wonderful people who sacrifice their time and come on the show with us and try to be as funny as possible. And then at the end of the week, we get together with Rod and Karen go, hey, were they assholes? And that's the show.
They know the right questions to ask, and who are we not to answer? We're the people's show, for God's sakes. So we find out if there were any assholes that week. Then we have, also in your VIP package, along with every show we've ever done in 19 years, Q&A. He takes that date, let's say today is November 1st, because it is, and goes to all the November 1st that we did shows, and we talk about those guests. Were there any assholes in 19 years? Probably. And we cover everything we talked about then. It's so much fun. keithandthegirl.com/VIP. Use code FREE if you want to give it a shot. I think you're going to dig it. All right. Let's see here. Let's start with some news about January 6th. A man connected with assaulting police during the insurrection was in court, and he ended up wrestling with court officers that tried to arrest him.
He's just trying to stay on brand.
Mm-hmm. Well, Donald Trump said never surrender, in that mugshot where he surrendered. And it confuses people. He sells T-shirts, Donald Trump, of his mugshot. It says never surrender.
Because
as he stood by a wall getting his picture taken.
Because who was it that said it? Was it Rod Morrow who said, like, he thinks he looks cool in that picture? I didn't realize that he thinks he's puckering up. He thinks he's got, what did we used to call it when people puckered up in pictures?
Duck face?
Duck face. He thinks he has duck face in that. He's got the perfect spray tan. The comb over is on point. Duck face is right.
He's doing the shining eyes. He's doing the eyes from Clockwork Orange where you look, from the
he's
bottom
smizing.
up.
Yeah.
Like the eyes from that guy who killed himself in Full Metal Jacket. And he's proud of it. A man convicted of assaulting police during the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot was tackled to the ground by court officers Monday after he refused to surrender when a judge ordered him into custody over the threats he made against federal agents.
Ryan V is saying every day is January 6th for some people.
Vitaly Goschenkowski, 34, threw his hands up as the officers tried to place him in handcuffs.
Mm.
And then he tried to do that thing where you can't lift kids if they don't want to be lifted. He tries to just fall in between your legs. Let's see. He managed to wrestle court officers to the ground. Officers.
Wow.
Knocking over tables and chairs in the process, and wasn't subdued until security rushed in and joined the scrum. The defendant was found guilty of felony and misdemeanor charges in March for assaulting officers with an electroshock device, like a cattle prod, during the Capitol riot.
How much would you have wanted to be in that courtroom?
Oh God, yes.
Right?
That'd be
like
great.
How much? It wasn't a jury thing, right? Because they're not. Oh wait, was it?
I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be.
Okay, because I feel like you'd sign up for jury like 6 times a year if that was the case. Oh my God.
He was initially allowed to remain free while awaiting sentencing, but he was called into a hearing on Monday after prosecutors reported that he sent numerous anti-Semitic texts to federal agents in his case. Yeah, you can't be doing that. Can't be doing that.
He thinks he's so right, though. Like, I don't know. I got to take something from some of these people's confidence because I don't think I ever thought I was that right ever.
Right. When Trump keeps saying this shit, I'm setting up my audio right now to share something with you. But when he says this shit, people hear it and they're like, yeah, I guess we keep fighting.
You know what? You're right. Because he not only blatantly says things like that, he says, like, go ahead and assault that person. I'm going to pay your bills.
Legal fees, yeah.
Your legal fees. He says, I can stand in the middle of, what was it, Times Square or Midtown and shoot someone down the street and still nothing happened to me. that is very empowering for people who are breaking the law, who are looking for trouble. And then seeing him getting arrested, seeing Donald Trump, seeing the president say all these things and get in just a little bit of trouble and still go home has to be like, well, then I can do that. I go to court and then I go home. I threaten to shoot someone and then I go home. So yeah, I think this is, that's their president.
Tell me this audio isn't going to rile people up.
A fake trial is currently taking place to try and illegally remove my name from the ballot. I often say that 2024 will be the most important election in the history of our country. The reason for that and that statement is that our country is being destroyed by people who have no idea what they're doing, or even worse, they may very well have an idea. They may hate our country and they may want to see it destroyed.
Who are these people?
But
it means nothing. You're not saying anything. Obviously, you mean Biden, etc. But you're not saying anything.
No, he doesn't mean Biden or whatever. That's just the only name he knows, because he, like your average American, if we're fair to say, we don't know who to point the finger to and what their actual names are. It's just the people in power. And so he doesn't actually know who to blame, who did something wrong, or who did anything. If you ask him what policies Joe Biden put out, what like anything that he did on his day-to-day, it doesn't matter. This is, guys, when you're looking for a leader and your leader is being so vague, but just specific enough to say we have an enemy here, he's playing you.
And by the way, how are you into Trump when he posts pictures like this that I'll put on the website of his face superimposed on Rocky's body, the boxing shorts, the boxing gloves? Remember when we all laughed at Putin's like glamour pics? He's on a horse with his shirt off. At least that was him, and we laughed at that. That's what we think this Trump's body looks like, and that he's a real fighter, and that's exciting people.
I believe that a lot of people believe that picture.
I think you're right.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot.
the reason for that and that statement is that our country is being destroyed by people who have no idea what they're doing, or even worse, they may very well have an idea. They may hate our country, and they may want to see it destroyed.
He's saying people are plotting against you. He's saying they're plotting against you, and the only way out is if I become president, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do about it. It's just the only way out.
I hate the country. Okay.
But it may also be the last election we ever have. If this election doesn't work, if this election is rigged and stolen, if bad things happen.
He's going through court cases literally right now about saying that it's a rigged election, about trying to rig it in Georgia. We've heard the phone calls. He was on the phone saying, "Find me extra votes now." You know what I'm saying? I wonder if this is legal, what he's doing right now, without exaggeration.
This is hey, fellow females, this is a relationship we've been in a couple times. Am I right? And we hopefully reach a certain age, we get some counseling and we go, what?
Right.
If this election doesn't work, if this election is rigged and stolen, if bad things happen, our country will not survive. If Crooked Joe and the Democrats get away with removing my name from the ballot, then there will never be a free election in America again.
Because if you don't know this, I'll replay that. But if you don't know this, he's also another court case. I think there's like easily 4 court cases going on right now. One is he allowed to run for president because of these other court cases and that are going on, the ones that have gone on, him being accused of rape, him being found guilty, and he was found guilty of rape. I don't know if people understand this is clear. He was found guilty. It was a civil suit, but he was found guilty of raping a girl in a fancy department store changing room, a woman. And then this woman says, yeah, okay, he raped me and I got a little justice. And Trump said, well, no, I don't think she can say that I raped her, right? And took her to court. And the judge says, no, based on that civil trial, she can absolutely say you're a rapist. Based on this trial, you are. And that's real. And so it's all these things that people are saying. Maybe there's a certain amendment, the 14th, I believe, that says he shouldn't be able to run for president again. That's what he's referring to.
Well, wow, because he doesn't have a felony because, like you said, it was civil court. Because if you have a felony, you not only can't run, but you can't even vote. I can't run for president because I wasn't born here. There's got to
Right.
be some sort of you're a rapist and you can't.
You would think.
Holy shit. But here he's setting people up. He's going, hey, they're going to take my name off the ballot, and that's because they're playing you.
Right.
That's scary. That's, to me, that sounds like I don't want to be like a lefty liberal like exaggerist, but it sounds like the same kind of information that says like, hey, go start a riot.
You're right.
Like if they take me off the ballot, they're doing things that we know they're planning. Like, don't let them say, they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they do know what they're doing. And if you don't see my name on there, that means this might be the last election. The election is rigged. He said, if my name's not on there, the election is rigged, and it might be am I misunderstanding this?
No, of course. These are all threats. These are all trying to get people riot angry. Of course. There's one part in it where it cuts to a camera on the left. Just real quick, he says something, then it cuts back face forward, and I'm like, what did you just edit out? This is what I'm hearing. What was taken out? Because obviously that was an edit.
Election doesn't work. If this election is rigged and stolen, if bad things happen, our country will not survive. If Crooked Joe and the Democrats get away with removing my name from the ballot, then there will never be a free election in America again.
There we go.
We will have become a dictatorship where your president is chosen for you. You will no longer have a vote, or certainly won't have a meaningful vote. And you could say, frankly, that has already begun. This truly is our final chance to save America. And with the 2024 election now less than 1 year away, this is your chance to take a stand against tyrants that support the one and only movement that can save our country and make America great again. We must win in 2024. If we don't win, we will not have a country. If we do win, we will make America greater than it's ever been before. Thank you.
What did he even say? Also, it's not less than a year, right? Isn't like the second Tuesday of, he said less than a year. I'm just saying that on top of everything.
Second Tuesday of November, right?
Yeah, so we're at
the beginning of November, so it's less than a year.
It's a little more than a year.
Look how the Democrats infight.
1 year difference.
Look at
exactly,
this. Look how we can't get anything done.
Exactly. He just said some awful shit. And I'm like, that date is wrong. I have a calendar. No, but he just said, if I can't run, we don't have a country.
Right.
What a country.
And then if for some reason what he says is illegal, just say AI did it. So say it wasn't you. Celebrities are now getting paid by Meta, the Facebook company, to be pals that we can talk to virtually. So they do like 6 hours of work. They get like $5 million. People like Paris Hilton, Snoop Dogg, Tom Brady, and you can talk to them and the AI will figure out their personality and then make shit up. But which, by the way, AI, well, what's that? ChatGPT, same thing. ChatGPT, racist shit is coming out because it's just grabbing shit from all over the world. These robots are pro-Hitler, some of them. I'm not exaggerating, just because they grab stuff and mix and match. So, careful what Tom Brady's going to end up saying, but I guess who cares, because they'll use your likeness anyway. I know Sarah Silverman is suing Meta because they inputted certain books into AI to be smarter. And one happened to be her autobiographies so that the robot had a sense of humor. And she's like, no, that's work that I did. You pay for that. And she's right.
Go Sarah, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Oh, I should read her book.
There you go. The Bedwetter.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I was just making
Sarah.
fun of her. No, I'm kidding. That's the name.
Okay.
Meta is paying millions of dollars to high-powered celebrities to use their likeness in AI chatbots. The arrangements are non-exclusive, so they can also join another AI company if they want to.
Okay, isn't this exactly what we just saw in Black Mirror, and Selma Hayek was all upset about it because she said they could use her for this, and then they went deeper and used her for other things?
Yeah.
Isn't this exactly that plot?
Yeah. Oh, I think all this, it used to be like when Black Mirror started, I was thinking like, well, this is an exaggeration. Now I don't. The movie where you can this woman inputted her dead boyfriend or husband into a robot that looked like the husband. And the robot's job is to never leave her side. And guess what? In real life, that gets very fucking annoying. She has to find a way to kill him or kill them both.
What? I don't think I saw that one. Yeah. That's funny. It's not funny, obviously.
It's creepy, but you're going to be able to do that. I bet you can do that. We're going to be able to do that in our lifetime. Have a robot that's my ex.
Right. Yeah. Oh, my God.
The bots answer questions and engage users in human-like conversation in real time based on the character's personality.
Are you kidding? Humans can't even do that yet.
Right.
I'm like, hey, let's talk about feelings, and humans break down and cry. And that's all the feelings they can get to.
That's going to, man, all the dumb shit these celebrities have said, the robot's going to be able to use all that.
You know, what you can use that for is if an AI can generate my feelings and let me know what's up, maybe they can help me express it. Hey, AI, what would I say?
What do I mean?
What do I feel here? Okay.
For $10 more a month, it adds like it adds a smarter person to your AI. And it's
for
like
10 more for 10
how do
more
I get
dollars,
my girlfriend back, and then for $10 a month, it gives you a smarter answer than what you would have thought of.
For $10 more a month, it could turn your feelings into a card.
Right.
Here's a Christmas card. Here's a birthday card. It's real feelings.
An Ohio social worker accused of sexually abusing a 13-year-old boy in her care previously expressed support for the death penalty for pedophiles on social media. She shared the message, dead pedophiles don't reoffend. Can we give the death penalty now? Now can we? What's that?
Is this a teacher?
A care worker for young people.
Oh, fuck.
This paper says an X account. That is such a stupid name. That means Twitter. Like, what the an X account? An X account belonging to Peyton Shires reveals that the 24-year-old who's been charged with unlawful sexual conduct with a minor at one point supported the death penalty for pedophiles, recirculating a post in 2020 on her personal X account featuring a vehicle's bumper sticker with the strong language on capital punishment. Yeah,
that's so interesting.
If you said it, treat others how they want to be treated. And she would like the death penalty.
Well, I guess she knows she's wrong. Like, hey, stealing is a crime. And then that person gets desperate. And I don't know. That's what's interesting is that your criminal activity does get researched through like Twitter and Facebook, and they must have arrested her first and then looked through what she thought about the world on Twitter, right?
That's what you should do for everybody.
I think they are.
This story I find so crazy. This guy destroyed his own truck. He's a white guy. He destroyed his own truck, wrote Black Lives Matter on it, busted the windows, fuck you, whitey. Told the media to make it a big deal. Of course, cops have to get involved. It doesn't take too long before these detectives can figure out he's the one who did it. You punish him however he complained. What I say you do is you sit him down and go, the cops know, of course, but you go, can't believe what fucking happened to your truck. What should we do? I think we're going to find these guys. I bet he even points at mugshots. I bet he picks like two random black men. Like, they did look at me earlier weird that day. And you go, all right, how should we punish them? Like kicking the ball, 6 months in jail, death penalty. And whatever that white guy says, that's the punishment. I don't think that's too much.
It's hard to argue that.
Thank
I feel
you.
like
then don't. And that really tries hard to argue. Then don't. That's okay. This person worked at the National Youth Advocate Program, which specializes in working with families involved in foster care. It's unclear if she met the boy through that or not, but probably did.
Oh, foster kids. Oh, yeah. God, you deserve like a hug with no extras. Ugh.
Right. God. Hugs are ruined. Also.
Right. What a hug must feel like. Jeez.
Yeah. Robert De Niro is in court. Him and his former assistant are going at it. She's claiming that he was sexually inappropriate. I'll explain how. He's claiming she ripped him off. Money. The main thing seems to be flight miles of all things. The former personal assistant was 41 years old. Chase Robinson was in court with the 80-year-old Oscar winner. Good for him, it says in the paper.
Well, she must have done something also. Give her credits. She was on time for work all the time. I don't know. Why does he get an Oscar in his description?
The Oscar winner's assistant. Let's see here. It's the second day of trial. He attempted to rebuff accusations from longtime ex-staffer Graham Chase Robinson that he was a terrible boss who subjected her to years of unwanted touching, abusive language, and demeaning misogynistic tasks. Asked about an incident where Robertson claims De Niro forced her to scratch his back instead of using a back scratcher. You can't ask an assistant to scratch your back, though, right? We're old enough to know that, I think. I think you should know you don't ask an assistant, can you scratch my back? What do you do when she's not around? Die? No, don't ask people to scratch your fucking back. I never asked my friends to scratch my back. Never mind an employee. Can you just get that spot down here in the middle? The Raging Bull star. See, I think this is the Post, so they're right wing, and De Niro, of course, is not. And I wonder if like they're adding movies now.
Oh, I see.
That are violent. The Raging Bull star, where he's the boxer and then an abuser, I believe. And they bring up Taxi Driver, where he's a psychotic serial killer. Hey, just saying. He confessed that it likely happened twice that he asked for a scratch, but only when he had an itch in a spot where he couldn't reach. Well, I'd hope so. You don't ask for your chest.
I can't say that this scratching my back thing is, I don't know. I get it. Yes, well, no, it's like I want, for me to judge it, I want to say yes, of course, it sounds inappropriate, but like, were they around each other for 20 years and she scratched his back over the shirt a couple times?
Just don't even bother, but still don't.
Of course. But like, this is such an isolated, like, there's got to be other things.
De Niro said, okay, twice, you got me. I'm saying this is nonsense, he said in court. It was never done with any disrespect. Shame on you, Chase Robinson, he said.
Don't add. Don't add.
Shame.
Yeah. Don't add, because now I'm on her side again.
Right. At one point, De Niro also admitted it was possible he once asked Robinson to Uber him a martini from the upscale Nobu Sushi Lounge at 11 p.m.
So what?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't know. I've been an adult, had to get coffee for people. This happens to be a martini. Who gives a shit?
Well, unless she's off at 11, and then okay.
Right. When asked about calling her twice while she was attending her grandma's funeral because he wanted her to buy his teen son a bus ticket, the actor replied, "So." But it was a funeral. De Niro insisted that he was never abusive towards Robinson, but conceded that he may have called her a, quote, fucking spoiled brat after he missed an appointment because she didn't wake him up.
Well, don't do that. That is bad. Why would you ever do that?
I could have too. Could have said that also to her. I was upset. She didn't wake me up and I made me miss this thing in Malibu.
What is this?
De Niro's lawyer objected in one instant to a question claiming improper impeachment. De Niro quipped from the stand, "Impeachment? Am I being impeached?" When laughter burst out into the courtroom, including from jurors, he said, "Had to say it, sorry." The objection was overruled.
No, because this is what Johnny Depp did, because they are very charismatic and very charming. And they're the people that we knew all our lives. So I know him more than my grandpa. Like, right. I never met one of my grandfathers. Like I don't know what my grandfather did for a living, the one that I did meet, but I know you. So you could be charming on the stand, but that's, as soon as the jurors laugh, you're dismissed. Right. You're dismissed.
The case dismissed, right?
Yeah.
The hung jury, laughing jury. The Hollywood A-lister is facing off against Robinson in a civil trial after accusing the once trusted employee of raiding his Canal Productions company, stealing millions of De Niro's frequent flyer miles, and this is weird. These are some petty things, though, all of a sudden, and binge watching Netflix while on the job.
Honestly, this sounds like a divorce case.
Yeah.
You know, you ever listen to it and it's like, oh God, I know that all of this is something that you are right to gripe about, but can I leave?
Their legal battle first kicked off when the Taxi Driver Actors Production Company sued her back in August 2019, just months after Robinson abruptly resigned after 11 years. So he said, hey, you've been stealing from my company. She said, well, you had me get martinis at midnight.
Okay, this sounds dumb.
Robinson quickly fired back with her own $12 million suit,
Sure,
accusing
why
the
not?
acting legend of subjecting her to sexual harassment and bullying while expecting her to work 24/7 and assume the role of his, quote, office wife. Comes as right. It's a
Okay, so
divorce.
okay, but that sounds like a serious accusation. The rest of this was like, hey, you worked together for 11 years and it sounds like you should stop.
One of her lawyers told jurors Tuesday that she first tried to quit in November of 2018, but that De Niro had threatened to give her a bad reference. You're saying I threatened her? I didn't do that. She worked for me. I treated her with respect, De Niro said. Asked if Robinson had been a disloyal employee, De Niro responded, disloyal? I don't know. Whatever. I wanted to get her because she stole stuff from me and I wanted to get it back. The whole case is nonsense. It's ridiculous. By the way, De Niro's somebody you can get to admit he ordered the code red. You can get him riled up, I can tell.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
he's saying like this is stupid while he's on the
Yeah.
stand, and I don't think a lawyer would tell you to do things
Right.
like that.
I wanted my things back, and that's all I'm asking. Return my things, return my air miles. Enough is enough. She had taken from me and not done the right thing. I asked her to return them, but she didn't do the right thing. She asked me for a letter of recommendation, which under no circumstances would I ever sign. He testified. He told you do need references when you work for somebody like De Niro. He could be making it up. I do have to call him. This is the one thing you did for a decade. I do have to hear from him.
Actually, it's not that you have to call him; it's that you want his number.
Right. He testified. He told his then assistant that she could transfer 1 to 2 million Delta Sky miles from the company's account to her personal one for emergency situations, saying he trusted her to act on the honor system. I wanted to do it in reason, he said, not take 5 million miles. Robertson, who started working for De Niro in 2008, claims in her suit that she was forced to resign from her $300,000 a year job in April 2019. In a resignation email, which was read to jurors, Robertson wrote, throughout all the years I've worked for you, I've been loyal, protective, to the point of alienating others, honest and beyond hardworking, 80 to 90-hour weeks. How are you going to get a reference after this? As a result, other parts of my life and opportunities were put on hold. You always came first. Well, that wasn't a nice resignation letter if she's asking for a reference. Right? Whether she's right or wrong, you're not getting a reference after that.
Yeah.
You ruined my life, so I have to respectfully quit. Oh, well. We have in America, starting last year around July, there was a 988 number as opposed to 911. 988 is the suicide and crisis lifeline. So in like a year and a half, 6.5 million people have called it.
Wow. Good.
Everybody's in pain.
Yeah.
Less than a third of people with severe psychological distress who have used the lifeline were very likely to use it again. Less than a third of people with severe psychological distress. So they're saying 2/3 of people who need a follow-up call don't take it. Maybe that's how good they are on the phone. Like, that was a good 5 minutes. Thank you. You're right.
I think
what can I control?
I think minimum that number is like, okay, so I think we saw a commercial or something, or they taught us this. If you hear your neighbors arguing and maybe they're getting physically abusive, or you can hear like bad trouble coming from it, you don't go and you stop it. You don't say you heard it. You don't, what you do is you go and you knock and ask for something innocuous like sugar. So it interrupts their fighting. Most likely they're not going to go back to it so I think that number is at least like the interruption of your thought process or someone else's thought process that they're threatening, that you're like now on the phone, you've shifted your thought process into more of a solution. So you're hopeful, you believe it. There's something that could happen. So I think like they saved lives just by having that phone number.
But now my abusive neighbors are looking for like a cake or something. It's like 10 times you keep asking for sugar. Can I get a treat? What are you up to over there? I'm seeing a lot of in the news anti-Semitism going on in America, obviously coming from Hamas versus Israel. For a group that represents only 2.4% of the American public, the abuse against Jewish people 60% of all religious-based hate crimes.
Yeah, I feel it. It's in social media. It's the Jews are not.
What do you think we're doing here? Not that I'm Jewish, but what are they doing over here in America that you don't like?
It doesn't matter. Americans are so ridiculous. Like not that long ago. How long ago?
They think Trump's a boxer.
There was a Muslim ban in this country.
Yeah.
You guys will flip any second. So whatever shit I'm seeing, there will be another enemy in 5 more seconds, and then it'll come back around to the Jews. We're not gonna be left alone forever or like completely, but it's like the Trump in your mind is always going, who do we hate now? I mean, it's usually Black, Jews. Like there's a list that like keeps steady, but
there's your staples, sure.
Yeah, exactly. But the priorities rise up. Like Americans don't know that they hate Muslims. Just all of a sudden they're like, no, these people must be freed. And it's like, okay, buddy, what were you posting before?
I was just seeing Harvard. You assume they're intelligent. People assume this guy's Jewish going to class, and so these American Palestinian supporters, none of them look Palestinian to me, are just really circling this guy and like bouncing him around. Not fists, but like you're just trying to get out of this scary little mob thing. It's like, what do you think I'm doing here in America?
You're creating a war here,
yeah,
as a response to a war there. Like you think by starting a war here against the people that you're somehow on the side of.
I'll talk to him. I'll talk to Israel now that I got your message. What am I going to do? 300 anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. since the Hamas attack on October 7th.
And how do you all know the difference between us,
right?
Israelis and Palestine, how and Palestinians? I stand in a room, tell the difference, because when people meet me, they don't go, right, you're from Israel originally.
I go, quick, what do you call this salad? And then, boom, they're not on the right side. I give them the business. College campuses are seeing an increase in anti-Semitic activity as well, such as threats at the Cornell University's Jewish community. Yeah, I see like college doors being locked and like held shut because the ones I happen to see are Palestinian against people that they think are Israelis, and like trying to break into college doors. And then what do you do if you do get that far? It's fucking nuts. Fucking nuts.
What does that say about you? The person who's locking someone, the person who's punching someone.
Yeah.
What does that say about you? You don't even have to be in war to punch someone. That's fucking interesting. Mm-hmm. But the Israelis are aggressive. That's fucking interesting.
I'm ready.
How does a fight start? You just started a fight here based on what you're upset about over there. What do you think they're doing?
Right. Yeah, you get bombarded by 20 people just trying to walk to school, and you're like, you've given me a lot to think about.
You know who you are? You're the person who was punching Asian people during the pandemic, you dumb fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm reading a story here based on, speaking of therapists.
Look at that. I had an opinion.
I liked it.
Yeah, landed it. Right.
Well,
wow.
Hemdat.com.
At punching someone.
Okay, Hemdat.com. Thank you. I'm seeing about a guy complaining that his therapist asks him for $20 tips when he found out how much money his client made. You know how where you're at everything's tip based now. You get a coffee, they turn the iPad and kind of look away like they're not looking at your password because they know it's fucking humiliating and offensive and really makes no fucking sense when it starts at a $10 tip. I can't 20% a donut, you fuck. Then yeah, of course I give $1 because the whole thing's fucking weird. They know we never know what to tip, and you can't go online and find out how much you have to tip. I don't want to brag, but the other day I got a mani and pedi. I still don't know what you're supposed to fucking tip, and if you Google it, they go, if they do a good job, throw them some bucks. I'm like, what is throw them some bucks, and how is this an article that you got paid for by the word? no answer on what to tip Uber, no answer on what to tip. So don't act like you did me a favor. The article ends with, anything else I can help you with? You didn't help me with anything. And then there's a little space for a tip. The irony.
Well, I experienced that as well. I got a haircut recently. I know it looks totally different. Thank you. And somebody washes your hair and somebody does the rest of it, right? And for me, I'm like, oh, the person who washes it has to comb it. I think they have a worse job, but that's supposed to be the person who gets the lesser tip. Plus, I'm in a curly haired salon, so it's a little more pricey. And so I just, at the end, last time, I was like, how much a tip? And they him and haw. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm not even having this conversation.
Right.
So this time, I'm like, I think $20 for the person cutting hair and $10 for the shampooer is...
I think it's more than enough. I do.
I think it's okay. I'll tell you this. It's a $200 haircut because it's in a curly haired place and they really are good. And other people have fucked up and fucked with my hair. So, okay.
I like that. I like we have to tip more because they charged more.
Right. Right. Because I'm like, $20, that's just 10%. I thought maybe like, should I do $20? I'm like, I cannot bring myself to pay more money than this.
Right.
And so I go, do you have change for 20? And they're like, our whole place is cashless. And I'm like, well, now no one's getting anything. No.
Right.
What am I supposed to do now?
Right. I go, what's your nationality? I'm making a post.
And then they all have a Venmo to tip. And I'm like, that's cool. This is exhausting.
Yes.
Well, if I'm paying by card, just leave room for the tip on there then.
In the food delivery, I get food delivered too much, but whenever I order, I don't know what percent comes up automatically, but it's like I got chicken wings and a hamburger, and they're like $72 tip. I'm like, I'm gonna hit custom. What?
I know, and I always feel weird hitting custom, but it's a 20% tip. It's $10 sometimes. I'm like,
it's more than you would tip in a restaurant. Some of these Uber and Seamless, I see.
Yeah, that's a little much, right? I love tipping. I love giving, like, I remember having a tip style job and like $2, $5 used to make a huge difference in the tip amount. I mean, now it's like years later. So I know like my $2 don't matter. It's not going to tip anybody even more. If I tip $2 more or $5 more, it doesn't seem to count. It's like a $10 minimum or you're just a cheapo.
Yeah. I was this is a while ago, but I was in Hawaii and I like water of all things in the ocean. I hit my rib wrong and it seemed it was extremely bruised or cracked or whatever the fuck. Anyway, I go to that hospital and they can only wrap it, give me some pain pills. There was a tip section at a doctor. And I'm like, the day I tip a fucking doctor, get the fuck out of here.
No.
And I didn't, but people did.
That's very inappropriate.
It's very inappropriate. So this female therapist only began asking for extra money, this guy says, after finding out the male patient was thriving financially. My ex and I have a 12-year-old boy, said the guy, who's going through some things. We found a therapist and we've been seeing her for a couple of years. It hasn't been life-changing for me in any way. In fact, it became more of a pointless chore like making your bed or folding your underwear. A few weeks ago, I can see that. Great. It's Thursday and it's you.
It's beautiful. Just to compare it to folding your underwear, because every time I do laundry, I'm like, why am I folding my underwear? And I'm like, it's such a nice experience when I go into the drawer.
My ex and I have a 12-year-old boy, blah, blah, blah. A few weeks ago, I told our therapist that it's bizarre to not have to worry about money for the first time in my life. I make good money and I don't have many bills. I was saving like $1,000 a month.
And the therapist used that against them?
Yeah. The therapist then started asking for a co-payment. I don't have a co-payment because my insurance covers 100% of therapy sessions. I explained that to the therapist. She said that was true, but maybe I could start paying like $20 cash because she's not making a lot with what my insurance pays her, like a tip, end quote. You raise your rates if you have to. You don't ask for tips.
Right. Because that person doesn't have a copay because she's probably paying more than other people. Also, who cares?
Right. And then the guy, understandably, he doesn't know, is this normal or not? So he starts Googling online and he finds out, okay, good. It's not normal. I didn't think so.
That's awful.
She told me, don't throw away 2 years of work. So tip me so we can keep working together, but don't can I still use that 2 years of work? Is it retroactive?
I believe that you just showed me that these 2 years of work, I have to be undone by another therapist who's not inappropriate.
Right.
Holy shit. Now I'm second guessing everything you told me, every piece of advice you gave me.
The therapist said, or he told the therapist, you know what? Actually, I'm no longer in need of your services. Thank you. And the shrink wrote back, maybe there was a misunderstanding with the whole tip thing. Oh, now I'm being gaslit by my fucking therapist.
Something's wrong with this therapist and they need to interrupt their thoughts.
That's right. That's what, when I walk down the street, I just scare people. Try to get them out of their head for a second. All right. Yeah. KeithAndTheGirl.com/VIP. Take a look at everything that's doing. It's every show we've ever done for 19 years, live shows, Keith and the Girl TV, videos that we made. Of course, you can see all that at the app, KeithAndTheGirl.com/app. In conjunction with your VIP show, you get everything at the palm of your hand right there. And I love it. I'm very proud of it. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you soon. That's it.
I like the idea of he'd be like the nighttime meditation thing, the daytime scare you out of your thoughts. Like, why are you thinking about that? Don't worry about it. Are you worried? Is now the time to worry? Is ever the time to worry? I'm Keith Malley.
I pass somebody. I go, doesn't matter.
And then you ask for a tip.
Yeah. And then I put my hand out and wait, like I'm at a hotel.
Pizza is saying being gaslit by your therapist is wild, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could be a mind fuck. I'm sort of proud of that person for going like, we're done.
Yeah.
That's a lot to do, you know. I'm going to choose to believe it was a test. Anna. No. Anna, you are a lovely person, but do not make up that someone's not being inappropriate.
There was a Pete Davidson's TV show, Bupkiss. Mike Lawrence wrote for it also. Pete Davidson is getting like death threats online, and he talks to a psychiatrist about it. Turns out the psychiatrist is the one doing it. He's like, you passed my test.
Holy shit.
Yeah, these aren't tests.
Yeah, people who want good from you don't test you like that. That's pop quizzes are not my what is that? There's 6 things of love. Like, it's not my love language, pop quizzes.
Right.
Anna says, please let me have this. I mean, you have it. Mimi Cherry, my grandmother ingrained tipping at the salon to me. Anyone that touches your head. So I still tip assistants if there is one. Sometimes they're shocked because they don't usually get tipped down.
Still didn't get a money amount.
And also, that's embarrassing also, right? Or at least, like, you shake the wrong person's hand because they're not supposed to matter. You give the wrong person a tip, they're not supposed to matter. It's like, how did I fuck myself so much?
Oh, and when I would get manis and petties, and like the pandemic is basically over, but people still wear masks, and they happen to be all one race, I'm like, and they're moving around like it's 3-card money. I'm like, I don't know what to do now. And I put it on the counter and go, thank you. Give that to people.
Yes, that is because you're seeing just the top of their head.
Yeah.
And they're wearing the same smock.
Yes.
And they're not bothering label to talk to you, and they're not like they also just want you to go away.
Right.
So, yeah. I've been there. All right, you guys. Anna, we find you to be the best. We met you in person. It was fantastic. You are the warmest warm. We just want you to point that warmness to people who deserve that sunshine that you give.
Right. Because if everybody's good, then who's good?
Wow, we really do speak differently. All right, you guys. Thanks for listening. Click all the buttons in front of you. We